How you doing, guys? This is Case Hatter. Kind of snowed in today. Can't do no flying much. Thought I'd give you a review on a little something I'd run across and just had to give it a shot. I'm not too much on quadcopters or helicopters. I kind of like wings. Now, I flew real airplanes, and I've looked into purchasing and flying a gyrocopter. So I seen this Gyro Plane on the internet and thought I'd try it out. Yeah, now I know Hobby King selling the Durafly gyrocopter with a pre-rotor, but I found this on the internet, made in USA. It's called Scout, put out by Flying Balsa, and I've got to say that it's a really, really good kit. It comes in a box and everything. You got to build it all, but it's a good kit. They got some really good instructions, and it's up to date. And the way they done the rotor head and all, is very slick, very smart. You got full-size sheets here that give you good views of it. And it tells you here how to do your CG. Your CG point on a gyrocopter is always at the mast. So you suspend this one at the gimbal point right here. Suspend it there when you get it done, and they want you to have a nose down attitude, basically from the top of the tail to the table, from 12.5 to 13.25 inches. Now I'm making changes, of course. You know how it is. You always do. They let me see. They had recommended the E-Flight Power 15 or a 300 watt equivalent, and they're ready to fly back. Weight with the battery was 33 ounces, and that's with the 15 degree on the head, rotor head. Now, I set mine up with the G-Force 25, and I'm flying a 11. Let's see, it's 11.75, I believe, or it might be 11.45. And I'm gonna give this little thing a whirl. I got her together finally, so I'm just waiting on the weather. Now I've seen them fly, and it looks like a lot of fun. And I thought, well, I could put me a small camera right here, and it would almost be out of line with the prop, and do some FPV, because these things fly. It's kind of crazy. It's amazing how they can just stop and turn in midair and do what they do. Of course, they're not going to do any hovering or anything, but it comes awful close. Now, the changes I made, basically, this came as a 4-channel plane, and it uses the head is your ailerons, as you can see, and your elevator is the head as well. And it uses a rudder. The rudder is your lengthwise stability. Well, that dogged wood stove's coming on is what you hear, but it sure feels good in here. As you can see, it's snowing outside, and it's like 15, 18 degrees last time I looked, so feels good. My all-up weight with my modifications is 39 ounces. And what I did, they had a single ply tail section. So I doubled the balsa because I know how I fly. If I tipped it over with their single balsa tail, I would snap it pretty easy. Now, this section here is balsa, and it's got a plywood bottom with plywood doublers in the areas it needs to be strong. And then you get up front, and it's got plywood doublers, and on the head it's balsa and plywood, and it's sandwiched to where it won't come loose. It's a very good design. Now I also added this cover here, the top and side pieces. That's just a 1/8" piece of balsa folded over and glued, because it looked a little funny without it being covered. And instead of using covering, I painted it. I sealed the balsa with a clear sealer, and then painted it. Now the rotor head design, I like the design. I believe it'll work good. I mean, it moves really, really easy. The hard thing was balancing the blades. I got them pretty good shape. They tell you not to worry about getting it perfect, because it's hard to do, and I can see why. But I balanced it using clear sealer, clear coat on the two wings that were light. Okay, now I added an elevator back here. Now, when I power up, I've got the head set up on my 3-position switch, so I can change the angle of the head 3 different times, and I can use the elevator that I've designed into it, and control the nose pitch, so I can work them together, and hopefully we'll see how it does. I've seen this set up before, and it works pretty good. Now, I would like it to have a pre-rotor, but you can't have everything. But I do believe this is going to be a lot of fun if I can master it before I tear it up. But like I said, I'm using a G-Force 25 motor. I got that from Value Hobby, along with the Skywalker 40 ESC. That's Value Hobby. And my favorite servos is the Park Zone, or Horizon Park Zone digital steel gear servos that come in some of their planes. You can pull up like the Fusions and 3Ds and Carbon X's and stuff, and order those through their parts. I think these are like $7 a piece, and they're digital Metal Gear servos. And these here I've been running 4 or 5 years, never had any problems with, and I've had them in some strange places. Okay, let's see. Now I'm using 72 megahertz on this plane, and I love my 72. Y'all can have your 2.4, and I'm glad you're going to it, because that way I don't have to worry about somebody being on my channel. With the Corona synthesized receivers, I tested this one last week before I put it on this plane, and with the radio here in the house, the antenna down, I walked down the road out the door with, I pulled this big door shut behind me, so it had no easy access. And I had the radio sitting over in my kitchen area. And I walked down the road with the antenna on the radio down and picked up servo action all the way out to 200 yards. And I'd love to see 2.4 do that. in my FPV, I've made it out a mile and a half before with the 72. I've lost video before I lost radio control. Now, granted, I have lost radio control a time or two, but it was because of I was in an area that was very populated with, you know, lots of businesses and people, and all their earbuds and cell phones are going. So I don't know if 2.4 would be any better, or even 400 would be any better in some situations like that. But anyway, well, you can watch one of my videos. Like at my hometown, I was flying over communications areas with this 72, and I got about a mile and a half that day. Okay, now this is, I say again, this is the Scout, and it's put out by Flying Balsa, and it comes with a good set of instructions. You've got your head assembly comes in a kit with its own instructions, and you got the gimbal kit comes with its own set of instructions. Very, very sharp way they done this. Very sharp. A really good instruction book, takes you all the way through the build process, and some tips on how to fly it. And here's the I think it's 5 sheets. Here shows the plane the way it ought to look. Now, see, I added the servo. That was for my elevator. This one here. See in the picture, it don't show that one because I added it. It shows the rudder, and and I moved my battery back just a little bit further, as you can see. I don't know what battery they suggested because it don't mention that, or I'm misreading it. But anyway, I'm using a 2200 3-cell LiPo, running the 45 amp ESC and the G25 1100 kV. So that's a pretty good setup. I've used it quite often. But as you can see, there's very good instructions on this video, on this instruction books in this build. Shows you the way it's supposed to look, where things are supposed to go. They give you everything you need basically to build it and put it together. And it was under $100, shipped to the door. So I'm going to do it later. I'll do a fly with it, and we'll see how it does. And if I crash it, you're not going to see it, but if it flies good, you'll see it. But anyway, that's Case Hatter, is a wintertime experiment, and it's January 27th, and it's cold outside and snowing to beat the band. And my car hadn't been moved, as you can see. All right, that's Case Hatter at you. I'll hopefully bring you a flying review of this baby.